And after a brief intermission, we return to the secrets of my Hollywood Life series. Yeah. This is book 3. Oh my god, it took me forever to read this book. I read book 1 and 2 like back to back, and then started reading this one immediately, and then proceeded to get enveloped into my Click series, so it just kind of lost the plot a little bit. But you know what, we're back, and you won't even notice when these videos are coming out because I haven't even edited the first one. Oh my god, my little tabby tabs, or you can't even see them, but they like go from like deep teal to like a jean color, then back to like an olive black green. Very pretty. Unimportant though. Let's read the back. Like I can read the back. I can't. It's just one of the Hollywood secrets. So if you remember at the end of last book, Secrets of My Hollywood Life, on location, just slap those books on top of one another. You'll remember that Caitlyn's mom was worried about this new girl on set, trying to get a little more screen time, and it becomes a whole thing. That's this whole book, whole thing. It's essentially where you're just like, she caught me slipping, and now I'm bald, essentially. These books have the same back cover except for which Hollywood Secrets on the back. So now that Hutch Adams' Pretty Young Assassins is over, it's now time to return to the set of Family Affair. And it's just, you know, trying to get right back into your old life after something upheaves it like this. It's time for more of the same. We start out with a script. Essentially, our major conflict of this book is a new girl, Alexis, has come in, and she wants it all. She's like liked by everyone, and she's pretty and hot, and she's everywhere. So it starts out on the set of Family Affair, where Paige, the matriarch of the Buchanan family, the on-screen family, has been sick. She's in a coma after she crashed her Le Mans, and she needs a transfusion, but neither her husband or her 2 daughters are a match. And while they're in hysterics, a woman, a mysterious Kobe, comes in and is like, I can help. And they're like, how can you help? We find out that like Kobe is the mysterious daughter of Paige. That before she met her husband, who's the father of Sarah and Sam, she had a tryst, and her father was so embarrassed that they made her give up the baby for adoption. Oh, scandal. Escandalos is our forward. Chapter 1, The New Girl in Town. So it starts out with Sky charging into Caitlyn's dressing room, being like, this girl has 8 more lines than me. What is up with that? You can't trust her. This is terrible. This is bad. Caitlyn's just like, you're being ridiculous. You know, sometimes I have 8 more lines than you and you don't lose your mind. And she's just like, she's coming for our gig, and you gotta get woke to it before you get choked by it. She's worried that Alexis, who seems too nice, is, you know, coming in. Alexis is the hottest thing on the market. She's just been picked up from Canada and is... Oh, did I do that? I did that.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
I'm the drama. Caitlyn is unconcerned. She is on a hot streak after the Hutch Adams movie. Like, You know, Sky can't bring her down. As long as she keeps her nose out of the gutter with Sky, she's golden. She's built. And that's something new to this book, which I marked every time it happened. And I'm probably not going to read verbatim what happens on each one of these, but we have ourselves some magazines, and we have TV Tome, which is like their TV guide. We have TV Tome Online, which is a website, and then we have just general magazines that I'm sure they're going to explain. But this magazine, the gorgeous redheaded Alexis Holden. The paparazzi is curious to know how the inclusion of Alexis is going to shake up the known to fight Sarah and Sam, Caitlyn, and Sky Mackenzie. And, you know, this is a story meant to shake up the plot of a long-running TV show. 15 seasons, baby. And we're introduced to Hollywood secret number 1. There are a few telltale signs that a TV show's days are numbered. One is when the head writer leaves. That hasn't happened yet. Tom has been writing episodes for years. Another is when a show decides to do a ton of stunt casting. We did have Gwen Stefani drop by Family Affairs set last year. She's a huge fan. And the third is when a bunch of new characters are brought on board. Oh no! The more I think of this, because I'm gonna be honest, my major plot thesis of this book in particular is how much you can notice how much I cannot pronounce her last name. She has a great last name. It's even in her it's even in her thank yous, her acknowledgements. It's talking about thank you to her grandfather for giving her a strong last name. And names are very important to me, but I cannot pronounce this woman's name. So Jen, how much Jen pulls from different media, especially popular media of the day. I don't know when this was written, but I do know that it comes out in 2008. And we have a lot of pulls from, you know, Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, the stars that she recommends as teen stars. The first book kind of pulls at Scarlett Johansson, whereas Scarlett Johansson, when I think of her, I think of her as a grown woman. But Scarlett Johansson, who was at the end of her teen stardom in 2006, whereas this references teens of my generation. Miley, Ashley, Vanessa, and Brenda. You know, all the Disney girlies of the time. Mostly the Disney girlies. We had not moved into wanting the attention of Miranda Cosgrove. But it pulls a lot from the great and powerful TV show. If you think about TV shows at its peak, Grey's Anatomy is on its rise, and there are lots of pulls from Grey's Anatomy. So pardon me, a large Grey's Anatomy fan, for pulling my massive knowledge. So if we're worried about, you know, a show going on too long and a show, you know, on the ropes doing a lot of stunt casting, Grey's has new doctors all the time. So many doctors. So when you're on the Primetime's longest running drama, you have to wonder when the other shoe will drop. It doesn't feel like it will because, you know, Tom is still there. They've had minimal stunt casting. But when your show is about, you know, kind of has a large fan base attached to it that revolves around your two teenage cast leagues, when they leave, are you just going to find some new hot teens to fill the, you know, the high school with? What's going to be the deal? New exciting news on the set is Maddie is getting a recurring role on the show. He's playing he's playing this like nerdy child from a broken home, and he's so excited to be on set after so many years as his own actor. Chapter 2, TGIF. On a double date with Liz and Josh, Austin and Caitlyn head to this super high profile restaurant named Les Deux. And it is, you know, this like fancy underground bungalow in the middle of a parking lot where once sat down, Caitlyn, catching up with her friends, realizes her friends are moving on with their lives. Like, you know, Caitlyn's always been here. She's always been a child with a job. And then, like, her friends kind of moving around that. And now they, too, are reaching those, you know, those milestones of teenagedom. You know, she doesn't even have her learner's permit yet. And, yet, you know, Austin's talking about getting his license and getting a car. Austin and Liz are both in the same driver's ed class as well as the same SAT prep course. Liz starts talking about going to NYU for school, and Austin talks about Boston, and, you know, all of her people are being pulled in so many directions without her because, you know, she's in LA. Her job is in LA. She's gonna lose out, you know, a forcive breakup with your person based solely on geography. Caitlyn has to think about what is next to come with Family Affair. No one wants to be working on a drama their entire life, which again brings me back to to Grey's Anatomy with Ellen Pompeo, my favorite white woman, essentially finding that she liked, as an adult, and given she started working on Grey's Anatomy when she was 28, she liked working on it because it gave her stability and she knew when she'd have time off and it was good for her and her kids. You're gonna have to forgive all my Grey's knowledge. I binged Grey's Anatomy in 2019 and made it a part of my personality. At that time, 15 seasons in 2 weeks. If I had this channel then, this wouldn't be us talking about The Bachelor. We would be talking about this week's episode of Grey's Anatomy. I love to study things. In 2007, Grey's Anatomy was in its 4th season, and it's also, Caitlyn talks a lot about spin-offs. Hold up, that's actually not important for right now, but when we talk about spin-offs, Private Practice is just taking off as a spin-off, and it was, bless her heart, it was, you know, generally loved. It went on for like 4 seasons. It jumped the shark, but honestly, so did Grey's at some point. You know, and this is the season of Grey. I'm still talking about Grey's Anatomy. Megan, why are your notes like this? Caitlyn is like, I need to focus on something else besides my friends abandoning me. And she's like, Austin, what do you want to do for your birthday? Austin, it's like, nothing. I don't want to do anything ever. No, we're not doing anything for my birthday. And she's just like, I don't know, he doesn't want her to do it up any kind of big thing, but she's just like, we don't even have to do something big. I just want to spoil you. I just want to spoil my plans. They run into Lainey, who's just like, oh my goodness, besties, so glad to see you. She's celebrating one of her big Hollywood elites, getting into something. And she's with a woman named Heidi, an editor for a sexy men's magazine called Maximum Men, I believe. And the editor for the magazine's like, oh, you should do it because your co-star Alexis is doing it. And it's like, again, is Caitlyn not a child? Like, do we not have, you know, sexy labor laws for children? I need to speak to an adult here. But we move into Hollywood secret number 2. The reason actresses do men's books is simple. They're great publicity. Hollywood knows people would buy tickets to a movie opening week or stand in a line all weekend for a concert are mostly young guys. And the way to get the word out to guys is to do a cover in your underwear for a magazine like Men's Matters. Even studios keep tabs on these colors. The dark side of these covers is that they can be really demeaning. And have you seen the gymnastic poses some of these girls have to strike? Or the interview questions? Do you really have to talk about being a virgin? I can't even help the conversation. Hold up, I am reading too quickly. I haven't even had that conversation with my boyfriend, let alone an entire subscription base. Lainey's kind of like, ugh, I don't want to have my client doing that. But, you know, she keeps it profesh. She keeps it Bible. And, even though Caitlyn doesn't particularly want to be demeaned into doing the sexy shoot, she's also a little bit jealous of how much work that Alexis is doing. How much sexy she is getting. Okay, chapter 3. Dressed for success. We're at an event for Caitlyn's mom's favorite designer, which Caitlyn's mom desperately wants Caitlyn to... Excuse me. Desperately wants Caitlyn to also love and be, you know, appreciative so that she can continue to get free shit and go to these events, you know, for free. Alexis happens to also be there and is insinuating that FA is very cliquey, even though it's also pretty well known that, like, the other young persons on the show don't fucks with each other, you know. It's not barbecue sauce. My god, my brain is fried. It's not something special to learn that Caitlyn and Sky don't get along. So the idea of her showing up there and then being like, oh my god, everyone's nasty to me, seems a little far-fetched. Caitlyn does not particularly care for daytime, this is just I have a little label in there about how Caitlyn, because she's over the age of 16, no longer falls under child labor laws, and her work days are super long now. So I don't even think she technically needs Nadine there. It's just probably for the best that she's there. God, her mom would let anything happen to her, I swear. Austin joins Caitlyn at this event, and they talk about both of their upcoming birthdays, with Austin's birthday being in November and Caitlyn's birthday being early in December. Neither of them really want to do anything big that the other wants to do up, and, you know, it's kind of frustrating when you're just trying to, you know, spoil your person and neither of them want to do anything big. Sky comes up and is like, hey, let's pretend to be besties, because it is for the betterment of our careers if we are, you know, nice to each other, especially with Alexis doing these interviews accusing us of being cliquey. Like, Sky's always been the villain, but it was on her own terms before. Now it's, you know, someone accusing her of doing these things, and it's like, that's not going to fly. So, Hollywood secret number 3. Want to know how hot a star is? Count their monthly red carpet appearances. The hotter the star, the fewer they make. That is, unless they have a movie or album to promote. When they're doing the publicity tour, all bets are off. A star may go to 4 events in 1 week just to gush about their incredible new project. I guess you could argue that Alexis is hitting the town to do just that, but if Alexis is still hogging the carpet nightly for a month from now, that means her star wattage is going nowhere. True A-list stars don't have to go to an opening of an animal shelter or talk about their favorite lip gloss. They know the real way to keep the public's... they know the real way to keep in the public's good graces is to sit home on their $5,000 couches and be just as elusive as Johnny Depp. Remember liking Johnny Depp? Okay. So, as our new hot girl, she might be the new hot girl, and Lainey Lainey is contemplating getting in on Alexis early. She's, you know, talking to the mother about you know, maybe getting her on their management and really just, you know, trying to get another cash cow in case Caitlyn isn't all it's cracked up to be. This is so flat on top. I'm living. So, Alexis walks up to Maddie, Caitlyn's little brother, and her boyfriend Austin hanging out on, you know, just hanging out at the party. And Caitlyn's like, ah, and anyone with 2 eyeballs can see that Alexis is flirting with Austin. But, you know, he's pretty stone-faced on that. And Maddie's just cheesing in her face. Caitlyn kind of scares her off and is just like, hi. And she's like, why are you flirting? Maddie seems to be like, I don't know why you're worried about it. She's just being nice because Alexis is a very pretty girl. But after Caitlyn's just like, maybe I'm crazy, Sky comes up and is like, no, you're not crazy. I saw her flirting with your man. Don't let your guard down. That girl's coming for you. Is totally flirting with your boyfriend. Flirt. We get another magazine page with an interview with their interview with Hollywood Nation with Alexis. She does a little fill in the blank style thing. And she just gushes about how much she loves Family Affair and her Family Affair family. And how much, you know, they've welcomed her. Oh my god, but how much she just loves Hollywood Nation. She's, you know what, she knows how to play the game. They ask a pretty probing question. Okay, who would win in a FA catfight? You, Caitlyn, or Sky? It wouldn't be me. Those 2 are tough as nails. I guess I'm not laying the cat out of the bag by saying they don't get along. They love to tear each other. You should just see. You should just see it. I would just step out of the way and watch the fur fly, as long as neither of them got hurt, of course. I love them both to death. That girl don't love nobody nowhere, but whatever. Chapter 4, Seeing Red. So everyone, because of how successful the new episodes of Family Affair have been, the ratings are up, and, you know, it's mostly to do with the teenage intrigue. So they're like, boom, we're gonna do like a hot young people photo shoot on the beach in Malibu, and because we're doing this like on company time, we can't have you go and find your own clothing. You're gonna have to pull out of the closet. So everybody, all the girls are wearing red, all the guys are wearing black and white. Oh, Sky is looking for some bits and pieces to wear. But is, you know, being difficult as she tends to be. Caitlyn comes across a designer dress that she likes. And we're taken to Hollywood Secret number 4. As much as I'd like to take my dress pick, this gorgeous Lululemon gown, black v-neck top, empire waist, red satin skirt. Black v-neck top, empire waist, satin skirt. That sounds gross. Out for a night on the town with Austin, it's probably not going to happen. Stars rarely get to leave the set with their wardrobe. Some of our clothes are borrowed from designer lines that haven't even made it to the runway yet. Others are samples that have to be whisked back to production house to be used on another celeb in need. And still other frocks are paid for by the studio, which means they're property of FA and are saved for recycling for a black tie wedding scene down the road. If I want this fiery Lululemon, I'm going to have to beg Renee to let me buy it. I grab her arm as she bustles past me with an armful of crisp white dress shirts. How much is this dress? It ends up being like $1,000, and that's apparently out of Caitlyn's budget for how she can just throw around for dresses. Everyone is here and, you know, is generally dressed and ready to go, except for Alexis. They don't have a lot of time because, again, they're shooting on, like, company time, and it's going kind of against her sweet, good girl, you know, look if she's arguing. Something to keep in mind, because I missed it the first time I read it. I do love this because it gives me a chance to kind of whoopsie my way out of some things. So everyone else is settled and Renee is just like, well, we can't find Alexis. She's probably in a dark corner with one of the writers. Sky and I look at each other. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Boardroom room joke. Now go get ready. As they're all, you know, they've gotten ready, they're in their dresses, and Alexis, they can hear her screaming and arguing in the background. They're like, she's like, how could you possibly put me in a mini dress? I'm all legs. I'm 5'9", which isn't Taylor Swift like 5'11". But it's just like, you're gonna make it look like I'm wearing a thong. She can't find any dresses, and she doesn't want to wear any of Caitlyn and Sky's dresses because she feels that she's above it all. So after making a whole big thing for a while, she's like, I want to wear white. Sky and Caitlyn are fully spying on this at this point. She wants to wear something that isn't red. And everyone's like, you're already a diva. You've been on the show for literally weeks. And she's like, I'm not everyone else. I'm not like everyone else, Alexis says. I'm not like the prima donna Sky. I smirk at Sky, who looks like steam is about to shoot out of her 5-carat diamond adorned ears. And I'm not like little Miss Goody Two-Shoes Burke either. Sky sniffles a snort. I can't believe she just called me that. Baby, you are. And she's just like, oh my god, my storyline. My storyline's the one that put us back on top. Everyone else is dead. Sky is fuming. Sky hates this girl. From the jump, she did not need a reason to hate her, but she has been given a valid one and is going to take it and run with it. Caitlyn tries to keep Sky from absolutely blowing up their spot by getting them caught. And because those two girls are technically not where they're supposed to be, they're actually helping elongate this because, you know, if there's more than one of them missing, it's not that big of a deal. It's not just Sky being it's not just Alexis being an absolute terrorist. Renee flags down Tom and is like, Alexis doesn't want to wear red. Alexis is immediately like, no, Tom, I just want to stand out. I want to be all special. And Kobe's hot right now, her character Kobe. Tom is just like, Jesus Christ, I know we need to do like the next scene. I know we have things we need to do, but like, we gotta deal with this. And Tom is like, I really want the girls in red. It's really, I feel like I'm belaboring this point, but she is truly trying to bend this, and she just whines so hard that like Tom is just like, sure, whatever, wear whatever you want, and just accessorize it with red. And Alexis, who is a brat, you know, bosses around Renee to get her something tight and slinky. Oh my god, she looks like a goddamn Christmas tree. Alexis hustles out afterwards in a green dress with red accessories, and I can't imagine those two going together and not looking like Christmas, but you know, I'm sure old loser in Brooklyn would prove me wrong. Everyone's whispering because, you know, because of this holdup, no one else is gonna get lunch, and it's just like, Alexis is like, oh my god, why don't we be lunch buddies? And she's just like, sorry, bestie, I have to go do some shit, because she, you know, she just heard her talking shit. She heard her with her own mouth. We get another script. Essentially, the mom character, Paige, is like, girls, give Kobe a nice life in our home, to thank her for all she's done. I know you're my long lost daughter in my heart. And we get some more clarification about her being the baby that she must have given up at whatchamacallit, before she had the twins. Chapter 5, I Heart Alexis. They're shooting their shot. They're shooting the scene that we just learned that we were just given the... They're shooting the shot that we just read the script for. And Colby sounds so sinister at the end. And Alexis, who's trying to elongate her time on the show, is like, what if we just made her, like, a little more sympathetic? Why don't we just, like, rinse it out a little bit longer? And it's like, no, you have a, that's a weird texture. You have a guest star shot on this show. You don't need to be adding anything else to it. Which is just like, the viewers love Kobe. While they discuss the, whatchamacallit, excuse me, Mel, who plays Paige, is just like, I'm not gonna sit around here while you two chuckle about on what these lines are. So she goes off and wanders through the back lot, in which that's Hollywood secret number 5, like many TV shows. When FA shows exteriors of characters' fabulous homes, chances are the interior scenes are filmed somewhere else, like a soundstage. Real rooms with 4 walls are too cramped for a large camera crew, writers, and assorted higher-ups. So most sets only have 3 walls, or are larger than your average room, so the crew can fit inside. When you see a house on TV, chances the studio has either paid to use someone exterior for a shot, or they've constructed a house shell on the back lot to serve as home sweet home. On our back lot, FA has a full street of homes that have been used on other TV shows and movies and now serve as the town of Somerville. When Paige and Penelope were in the Buchanan Manor house fire 2 seasons ago, they burned the falling exterior of an aged home on the block. The space made way for a park, which we used for an outdoor school shots. Buchanan Manor is also the grandest of all the fake homes, but don't bother putting on a bathing suit. Our swimming pool is not on set. Those scenes are shot 23 miles away at a mansion in Arcadia. And after that, we are introduced to Matt Welch, a so-called hot metrosexual. Remember when we had to make a whole new word for men who wash their asses? Metrosexual. Matt comes over. And everyone's like, he's so hot that even Caitlyn, great monogamous, good girl of them all, is like, oh my god, he's so cute. She appreciates his beauty. Alexis goes over to him and is just like, oh my god, can you fix this? Let me read this. How can I help you this afternoon? He asks. I'm so sorry to be a pain, Alexis says in a whiny voice. She looks and sounds like a 10-year-old in a super tight Snoopy tee that grazes her belly button and low-slung dark jeans. Kobe is supposed to be sort of trashy, which explains the wardrobe. I'm tripping over this one line. And this is only funny to me because currently I ended up on Trailer Park Hot TikTok. Which I will link in the whatchamacallit, in the description, the doobly-doo. But Caitlyn is definitely Trailer Park, not Caitlyn, Jesus Christ, Kobe. And honestly, so is Alexis, Trailer Park Hot, where it's just like the eyebrows and the smoky eye and the... She's definitely not horse girl pretty. Alexis can't help but throw some stuff in there. Like, she just can't stop saying thank you to the, whatchamacallit? She can't help but say thank you to all of the staff around her. She's just annoyingly peppy. As Alexis begs to give Kobe a bigger role on the show, Alexis Sky can see the writings on the wall and doesn't want to give Alexis not another second of screen time. She's saying the quiet part out loud, which will always get you in trouble, where she's just like, she just wants to be on the show. Alexis is so cheery and so nice that, like, it's kind of hard to be like, oh my god, Sky, you're right, because, you know, when someone's nice, you want to keep them around. They go back to filming with a more ambiguous ending so that it doesn't appear, we don't know immediately where they're going, with Kobe winning herself essentially another, like, with Kobe winning herself another couple of episodes on the show. Caitlyn back in her dressing room. She is trying to figure out how to convince her family to let her take driving lessons, or take her driving permit. Her dad is like, maybe she could use it if she needed to get a role that, you know, she might lose out on because she doesn't know how to drive. But, like, outside of that, we can pay people to do that. They're really, I think when you're so excited by the idea of having money, that you just, like, forget about the part of your life when you didn't have money. And you just make bad decisions, like not teaching your child how to drive. I personally don't drive, but that's because of trauma. The reason Caitlyn doesn't drive is simply because her parents never bothered to think, maybe your cash cow might not always be a cash cow. That's her parents' plot in each book, is just constantly being reminded that their cash cow will not always be a cash cow for them, and that they probably should let her have some real life skills in case shit hits the fan in the next 3 books. Her parents are, you know, kind of weird about it, and so she decides to go and get her own. She forges her mother's signature to take her permit test with the help of Nadine, because Nadine agrees that she should at least have the permit, but did not sign off on her, you know, just getting her, just lying. It will get there, but it's bad. Okay. So, Hollywood Nation starts reporting that Caitlyn's been delaying filming, and when they're like, maybe Sky's the one pushing this fake narrative, turns out that the story is also covering the idea that Sky is battling bulimia. And if both of them are being attacked, it can't possibly be coming from each other. As she's leaving her trailer, she comes across Sky, who's like, did you do this? And she's like, no. And so now the question is, who did this? Austin arrives on set, and she comes across him giving some advice about talking to a crush. It's all fun and games where Caitlyn is like going to be super supportive about her brother, you know, feeling his feelings, when she finds out that the person he has a crush on is Alexis. Austin nods his head encouragingly. No offense, but I couldn't tell you first, Maddie says slowly. You're my sister. I couldn't talk about girls with my sister. Are you mad? Of course not. I couldn't stop smiling. I wish you had confided in me, though. God, where's her heart? I wish you had confided in me, though. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if you'd approve, he frowns. I hit him in the arm. What are you talking about? Of course I would approve anyone you want to date. I look at Austin. This is cool. We can double date. Would you come with us on our first one? On her first one, Maddie looks hopeful. I'm nervous. I was thinking of asking her to the Ivy. I shake my head. Way too public for your first date. Think of someplace romantic and very private. Would you come with us on our first one? Maddie looks hopeful. I'm so nervous. I was thinking of asking her to the Ivy. I shake my head. Way too public for your first date. We'll think of someplace romantic and very private. So who's the girl? Do I know her? Yeah, you do. Matt. Yeah, you do. Matt shifts uncomfortably and looks away again. Uh-oh. Please don't tell me you're in love with Sky. No way! Matt looks disgusted. I would never disrespect you like that. Good. I'm relieved. Then who is she? Maddie looks at Austin, and Austin looks at Matt, and Austin looks at me, and so does Matt. It's Alexis. Matt whispers, I like Alexis. Alexis, I screech, and they both jump. You can't. You just can't. I blurt out, and I seem like a maniac. I just know it, but I don't care. I knew you'd react this way, Matt moans. I told Austin you would. What do you mean? I demand. You're jealous of her. Matt says. I'm not jealous, I yell, feeling very flush. It's obvious. Matt sounds mad. It's hard not to be the object of everyone's affection anymore, but take it like Lady Kate. Alexis is hot right now. That doesn't mean everyone still doesn't like you. It's just like, have you ever, it's like a gaslighting where she's like, I never said anything about not being liked by everyone. My issue is this bitch is trying to steal my career. She's trying to steal her whole career. This does not end well. She's just like, she's got all these lists of things. Like, Matt just like leaves. And she's just like, she's too old for him because Alexis is even older than Caitlyn. And she's just like, she's a fraud and a weirdo. And Austin's just like, let's dial it back, babes. Let's take this from a 10 to a 7. Ugh. And he just kind of references their own love story, which is stupid. Like, this is not, it's not about falling in love and being like, oh my god, you just can't control who you fall in love with. She's literally manipulating a child. Like, I'm purposely mean to children so that they don't want to be around me. And it is very effective. 6. Bliss interrupted. So, Caitlyn's mom is like, oh my god, girls, why don't we go on a spa date? So, Caitlyn and Liz get to go on a spa date where the first morning part is just going to be Liz and Caitlyn. They're getting all massaged up and they don't, you know, they could talk about whatever they need to talk about. Bestie style. While waiting for her parental units, Kate has some girl chats with Liz. Liz is absorbed in like SAT stuff and college stuff, and Katie just does not want to focus on it. So they come up with a plan to take Austin on a nice date. It would involve them, you know, going to Vegas and getting a supercar and all sorts of things. But the issue is Austin's birthday is on homecoming week and weekend. And so he has to be there because he's being elected homecoming king. They kind of, you know, they're thinking about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it when Mom walks in with Alexis. Mom wants to get Alexis on their management team, and Caitlyn hasn't had a chance to bring up to her mom and Lainey that Alexis is not to be trusted and is a snake. It's also kind of a bummer that the only time that her mom ever schedules something nice and relaxing for her is when she's like, ah, yes, I can leverage this into a business opportunity off the back of my daughter. Lainey comes in and is just like, I've heard some shit about that girl. I don't like her. I'm gonna, you know, how dare Meg, the mom, not, you know, talk to me about this before deciding to woo her over there. Boo! We hate Meg Burke. All my homies hate Meg Burke. Mom purses her lips, which look thin again. I'm sure plumping is on her agenda today. Shh, she says, looking over her shoulder at Alexis. Don't look at me like this. We're here so that you can have a nice, relaxing, well-deserved day of pampering. I just thought it would be nice to write the whole expense off by doing some business as well. So I invited Alexis. Didn't the spa comp this whole thing because Caitlyn was a guest? Lainey asked. I try not to grin. I try not to grin. She's probably right. Mom raises her right eyebrow at Lainey. Uh-oh. It can't hurt to talk to her about my management firm, can it? Mom asks us. I really don't think that's a good... Lainey stops talking when she realizes Alexis is listening. Alexis walks over and takes a seat next to me. I'm so so glad we've got this chance to bond together today, Caitlyn, Alexis says to me. I was just telling your mom that I rarely see you when we're not shooting. She looks like a sad puppy in a store window. She's good, Liz whispers in my ear. That's why you came today, Alexis? To hang out with Caitlyn? Lainey asked politely. That's so nice. Trap her, Lainey! At least someone other than me. And while Sky sees through Alexis's sickeningly sweet fake act. That's the main reason. Alexis smiles at me. I'm dying to know more about you, Caitlyn Berg. What makes you tick? What do you like to do on your day off? Nothing exciting, I say slowly. I do the same things everyone else does. You're too modest. Alexis laughs. You can admit how fabulous your life is. I think it's great. But I have to admit, I do have another motive for coming here. I hold my breath wondering what Alexis is going to say. I wanted to meet the fabulous Lainey Peters. And talk to your mom. Alexis grins. I've heard you two are an unstoppable PR and man. Jesus Christ. Now it's my mom's turn to smile. All this smiling and someone's face is going to freeze that way during a facial. I didn't think I needed representation, but now I'm wondering if I do, Alexis frowns. This town can be really tough. Here we go. Hollywood's not meant for everyone, Lainey says simply. As the door to our suite opens and 5 Argyle Spa employees file in with manicure and pedicure carts. Oh good, our first appointment, Mom says excitedly. She glances at Alexis with a look of concern. Alexis dear, tell us what's going on. Are people giving you a hard time? I'm having problems with my contract, Alexis starts to tear up. Wow, she's an even better manipulator than Scott. I didn't realize I signed on that it was only for half a season, she moans. The Colby character could be a huge asset to the show if they just kept her around. When I hear Alexis say that, I almost want to laugh. So Alexis thinks my mom, Lainey, and I can help her. I shake my head. Alexis' motives are clear to me now, but I still don't get what it has to do with me and Sky. Why is she trash-talking us? Is it jealousy because we've been on the show forever? There's so much about Alexis I haven't figured out. That's TV, Lainey echoes some of my sentence out loud. You signed on for a limited story arc, and that's all they're gonna give you. Lainey is not having any of this shit, and it's just like trying to... It's kind of like, you know, it's when you know something about someone and you're just trying to be like, Mom, if you don't stop. You don't stop. Austin texts Caitlyn, and Alexis clocks it, starts checking on her phone, and because duh, everyone does this in this book series, smartly for once, Caitlyn puts her phone away and hides it and keeps it somewhere safe. We've learned from our mistakes from the first book. Alexis lets it slip that she has now been gifted an and credit on the show, and that sends Caitlyn spiraling. Hollywood secret number 6. Everyone knows that a TV show credit, which is a star's billing during the beginning of the program, is a coveted piece of real estate. When the cast names are featured at the beginning of the program, usually the first and last names to appear are reserved for the biggest stars. And in FA's case, Mel Page has the first mention. Shows and movie posters usually reserve the and for a star who doesn't warrant top billing but is big enough name that they shouldn't be lumped into the middle of the credits with everyone else, like me, who gets 5th billing, before Sky and after Spencer, who plays my TV dad. Billing is such a big deal that stars actually negotiate where their names will be placed when they're signing on to a project. And with giving her that information, and it must mean that she's like a big star, at least the people production thinks she's a big star. After she realizes what kind of rising star Alexis is, the mom finally realizes that maybe it's not a good idea to be wooing her. She's not just like some wayward thing. She's coming after your daughter's bag. It's finally getting to Mom. Alexis leaves and Lainey fills in Meg about, you know, not having a good feeling about this girl and how she could just... How could you do that without talking to us, to me, about what this was going to be? And everyone is aware of, you know, bringing this overblown ego into their space. They're also realizing that she's probably the one feeding the press the bad looks. Lynn takes his time to be like, well, if you want to apologize for bringing a leper into our camps, maybe you could let me get driver's lessons. And her mom's like, well, first you need a permit. And Caitlin's like, ooh, whoopsie, I got one. That Nadine signed off on. Everyone is just like, well, you can get like driving lessons on the back lot like everyone else does. You can get a private teacher and learn how to do it. And Caitlyn is dead set on doing it in the public eye for some reason. I don't know. I wouldn't want to learn how to do that on a real street. I much prefer learning how to drive on my backyard and in the parking lot of the middle school. Ugh. Caitlyn has been checking out driving schools behind everyone's back because even Nadine is also like, that is a terrible idea. You should be doing this on the back lot. And of course this means that Caitlyn has now gotten a driving instructor. Chapter 7, Learning Curve. Caitlyn brings Rodney, Nadine, and Austin to a driving school that she's checked out, and how somehow she thinks that she has the chops to suss out if something's sketchy. She makes the dumb-headed mistake, I would say. I'm gonna chop you off right at the bit. This does not end well. Caitlyn goes to a driving instructor, tells him that she's famous and that she wants him to keep it on the down low, and that he needs to sign an NDA to be his client, and that, you know, all these things. Like, she just gives him so much information about her being a star ahead of time, and is like, it's gonna work out great. She brings along her entourage who are like, this is terrible. She calls out of work to do this. No, she didn't call out of work. She has work in the afternoon. Our sweet summer child of privilege doesn't realize how dumb, dangerous, and bad this is all about to be. They show up in this. Nadine is mostly upset with her because even when she's made bad decisions in the past, she's always consulted Nadine before doing it. She's never just run off and done something dumb. And it's like, when has Nadine ever steered her in the wrong direction? The idea that she has to make bad decisions on her own is something I get, but this could have ended so badly. Like so many other first bad decisions a teen makes as they enter their own years. Nadine pulls out the NDA to have the guy sign it. He signs it, crumpling it quickly, and tosses it off to Nadine. Caitlyn gets in the car and starts having misgivings. Hold up. Let's see what's on page 119. Hollywood secret number 7. Celebrities don't get sick. Oh, that's right. Caitlyn is showing signs of a cold. She's sneezing and, is sounding pretty miserable. Okay, so she's showing signs of developing a cold. Hollywood secret number 7. Celebrities don't get sick. Unless, at least they don't tell the world when they do. Unless they are in serious need of some R&R and want to check themselves into cyanide for exhaustion. This guy's pulled that twice now. Usually stars stick to the motto, the show must go on, and fight through colds with the aid of emergency and bouts with the stomach flu. Delayed filming for hours rather than the whole day. Of course, if you're a major cast member and you come down with the chicken pox, shooting is normally delayed. Like it was when my friend Gina got sick and infected her 2 other castmate members on her TV show. I've never taken a sick day, but that could be because whenever I sneeze, my mom reminds me that Oprah has never called in sick in almost 2 decades on air. Apparently this has been going on for 2 days, and no one has gotten her checked in. So she goes off with Ralph, the instructor. The instructor he's got like this lump in his pocket, and he starts asking some intrusive questions that would be sizzling gossip if she answered it. Caitlyn starts driving and the questions get more and more heated, and that's when she noticed something's in the back of the car. He locks her into the car and she panics. This creep locks the door, and fucking Macho Mark, a known, like, paparazzo, pops up out of the back of the car, and Caitlyn panics. He, like, steals the wheel. He still won't let her out of the car, and she crashes in a minor car accident into the back of her family's town car. Everyone pulls her out. There are threats of lawsuits, suing, screaming, and as Caitlyn slowly slips into more and more delirium from her, sickness, Austin pulls her out of the car and is just like, let's get you home. They get her home and they package her up back up the stairs and back into bed, and they're just like, we'll deal with this later. I found this chapter to be so stressful. Like, I had to stop reading this, and like, that's part of the reason why this one, the rest of the other books were filmed and read and recorded in November, December. It's March. It is March, and I was stressed. Like, it felt completely out of the character, who now I understand, looking back, I can understand her as wanting to have some control of her life and feeling like she made the decision, but she made a bad call. Like, I guess all the other calls she's made so far have always worked out, and this one patently fell flat on its face and could have ended up with her being killed, let alone the damage it could possibly do to her career. Like, we are 5 steps away from worst case scenario. Chapter 8. Fever Hysteria. The fallout from her driving instruction situation is her mom doing a lot of screaming at Nadine, and just, you know, lots of screaming at Nadine. Nadine takes the fall for this. Caitlyn is like attempting to get down there because at the end of the day, Caitlyn loves Nadine and all that Nadine does for her, and is just like, shit, I gotta get down the stairs, but she is zoinked out of her mind on painkillers because she's sick. She is sick. They had to call off the rest of the day of filming because she's just out of bed unconscious. Maddie comes up to keep her company as she slips in and out of sleep. She wakes up to Celebrity Insider being on the TV, and the thing about the driving is in there, but it's not nearly as big as covering Sky, where apparently during an on-set interview, Alexis straight up, family affair, Sky Mackenzie, lying about her age. It's true, and we've got the video to prove it. You only see it here, next on Celebrity Insider. Flabbergasted. This is what Nalini wants to talk to me about, not my driving disaster. When was Celebrity on set? Maddie frowns. I didn't know they were coming to talk to us. I guess it was after you were quarantined, Nadine says. Maddie glares at her. I forgot Celebrity Insider was going to be on set today. The whole cast was being interviewed about being the longest running primetime series on television. I looked forward to it. Maggie Swanson is one of my favorite interviewers. Tonight's piece was supposed to be about the life on set of Family Affair, Maggie says, but we're saving that for next week because while on set today, I witnessed longtime star Sky Mackenzie having an altercation with darling newcomer Alexis Holden. Take a look. Oh no. I watch as Maggie's interview begins. Maggie and Alexis are standing on the FA set, and Alexis is wearing a way too revealing beige, low-cut, monochromatic sundress. And now the girl everyone is talking about, Alexis Holden. Maggie beams, her smile laser white. Tell us about your life on Family Affair, Alexis. I love it. Alexis gushes, by the way, Maggie, awesome top. Where'd you get it? Maggie looks down at her cute brown knit halter. Thanks. I just got it at Intuition. I bet you get to wear a lot of cute clothes like these on Family Affair. Definitely, Alexis says. And I have some breaking news about Kobe, and I want you to be the first to hear it. I just found out myself, and I'm bursting. Originally, she was only supposed to be on for a few episodes, but after a fan reacted so strongly to the character, the network decided to let my story arc continue indefinitely. What? I attempt to yell. It sounds more like a cough. Indefinitely. I can't handle working with Alexis indefinitely. What does that mean? I can't deal. How is she managing to change things so quickly? Maddie tries to turn away so that I won't see his face break into a grin so wide it could crack his face in two. Traitor. What great news, Alexis is sticking around and you heard it. What great news! Alexis is sticking around and you heard it here first on Celebrity Insider. Maggie says in the background, I see Sky in a bright yellow floral halter style silk mini dress. Did you hear that, Sky? Maggie yells across the stage. Sky hurries over, all smiles for the camera. What's that, Maggie? She asks sweetly, avoiding eye contact with Alexis. Your new co-star is staying on indefinitely. Maggie marvels. Sky blinks nervously. This is such a great day, Maggie. Hold up, sorry. This is such a great day, Maggie. Alexis gushes. And do you know what makes this news even more special? Today is Sky's birthday. No, it's not. I tell the TV. Everyone in the room looks at me and I forgot for a moment the hot water I'm in. Sky's birthday's in January. She turned 17 a month after I do. She never lets me forget it. Back on TV, Sky is laughing. Alexis, my birthday's in January. I'm 16. Sky tells the camera. I'm a month younger than Caitlyn Burke. She winks. The camera pans wide and we see Alexis pull a license out of her handbag. Oh, I'm sorry, Alexis says. I got confused when I saw this. The camera does a close-in. The camera closes in on the California state license. There's no doubt about it. It's Sky's. This bitch is doxing people. It's Sky's. I've never been great with math, but that doesn't mean you're 17. Doesn't that mean you're 17 going on 18 today? Alexis says. Oh my god, Nadine says. She lied about her age. Why? Every year on Hollywood counts, Lainey explains. Maybe her family worried she wouldn't have gotten the part if the studio knows she was older. A year makes a big difference when you're 4. So everyone's just like taking, everyone's being pretty chill towards the idiot child, Caitlyn, for, you know, almost getting herself yeeked. Her mom is just like, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm sorry, I can't take her being disappointed. You're a disappointment of a parent. She's not that bad of a mom. I just dislike her. I personally have beef with her. Everyone's giving her a break because she's so zip-suited, but it was like super dangerous what she did. And we go back to looking at the TV. Where did you get that? We see Sky squeak. She lunges for the license. Alexis falls backwards, landing on her backside, and Maggie helps her up. You broke into my dressing room, didn't you? No, Alexis says innocently. I swear I found it on the floor. Yeah, I mutter. I didn't know you'd be upset about me mentioning your birthday. So, Alexis says to Sky and then to Maggie, her eyes wide, and she's totally playing the ingenue card. I thought I was just being nice. The camera turns to Sky. You two-faced conniving shrew! You two-faced conniving shrew! Sky grits her teeth. I'll get you for this. She storms off screen and I half expect Sky's face to turn green, a witch's hat to appear, and for her to say, and your little dog too! But that doesn't happen. Alexis is teary-eyed. I didn't know she was lying about her age. I just want everyone to know today was Sky's birthday so we could celebrate. Maggie looks mournful and hugs Alexis. I'm still speechless at the camera as the camera cuts to an anchor Brian Bennett and Maggie standing on the Celebrity Insider set. They do cover a little bit, but like this whole situation is much less important than whatchamacallit. Than Sky attacking someone. You know, everyone knows Sky's unhinged, but this assault, battery, so much. Hollywood secret number 8. Tabloid shows and reputable magazines that rely on celebrity cooperation and access don't like to print photos of a celebrity looking ticked off. The exception being the mugshot or a celeb yelling at the paparazzi special. They know that an unflattering picture only pisses off the celebrity more, makes the shutterbug who took the picture look more incompetent. What? He couldn't get a good shot? and bores the readers who hate the idea of their favorite stars acting well like normal human beings who get a little mad like everyone else. Turns out Nadine is pretty chummy with some of these people, so she'll be able to get this kind of situated. Tom comes by, head writer Tom comes by and is like, hey bestie, can I talk to you about this? Gestures wildly. No, he doesn't come by. Take that back. Tom calls and is like, hey, can we discuss this whole Alexis thing? I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to be the one to tell you that she was going to be staying on. She wasn't supposed to tell the public yet, but you know, she gets real excited about things. And, you know, Caitlyn's a team player. She's like, hey man, I get it. It's fine. No permanent decisions have been made about her character. We just felt that the character was testing so well that we couldn't let her go just yet. So they decide, the network decides, hey, why don't we have like this teen weekend? The younger castmates are heading to Vegas to, you know, bond and do some good PR, with it all culminating in a dinner that's supposed to happen. What could possibly go wrong? Caitlyn apologizes one last time to Nadine about getting her involved in all this. Nadine is like, hey, I forgive you, kitty cats. I love you always. And Caitlyn gets her Tylenol and a little water, and she just drifts off into sleep. TV Tome Online. Family affair hot gossip. Are Sky, Mackenzie, and Caitlyn Burke in or out? So this thing just somehow has, you know, some tea that is a little accurate and a little inaccurate. I love the section. I love this one because, again, back to Grey's Anatomy, it has this. Whose jobs are in question, you ask? We've already reported that Peter Hennings, who plays Dr. Brandon, is in jeopardy of not having his contract renewed after his screaming match with a grip turned downright nasty. Peter, it's not nice to name call, especially when your profanities are politically incorrect. Peter is currently in therapy to work through what he calls the hatred inside of me that I never knew existed. Words of his contract renewal has been non-existent. And if you don't know, the season of Grey's Anatomy that would have been being filmed, would have already been filmed and would have been out when she was writing this book, involves the actor who plays Dr. Burke, who was an original castmate, beloved Black Doctor, getting removed from the show because he called Patrick Dempsey, Mr. McDreamy himself, an F-slur in an argument, and also causing the actor who plays O'Malley to be outed on to the set before he was really ready, because again, he's calling people the F-slur on set. People are not dizzy down with that. So he ends up getting removed from the show, having Dr. Burke run off to Sweden and run away from Christina Yang, creating, you know, a ripple effect that would involve Christina getting married like 7 times on this show and just running away, and her husband's just running away. But that's kind of where you see that, and the fact that this is just put in there, I'm like, this is wildly specific to just have these doctor characters calling people the F-slur all the time. What else is in this is just some online dribble about how the girls are, you know, being disruptive and how their contracts are up for renewal, and that, you know, you could scrap the two of them and go for the much cheaper single Alexis Holden. Alexis Holden, who is an absolute gem to work with. So Sky's reps are like, we're not discussing this, but ooh, Caitlyn's people are always just like, no, shut up, bitch. Oh, how close are we? Not close enough. Let's roll with it. Chapter 9, Alexis Exposed. So they're on this Vegas trip, and Caitlyn tries to talk to Liz, but Liz just wants to talk about NYU. She's, you know, feeling kind of jealous, but is also embarrassed that she feels jealous because, of course, she wants what's best for her friend. But she's not gonna get that. She goes off to a staff meeting thing, and we get this exchange. I'm gonna try and go through as fast as possible before the camera dies. Well, now then, Tom, Alexis says, now get inside and find a bike. I'm gonna whip your butt in there. She laughs. Once Tom's out of earshot, she stops laughing and looks at me. So what's up, Kates? I feel like you've been avoiding me, she scolds. The words got caught in my throat, instantly giving me away. A little, I admit. Well, I'm not sure how to word this. I've just heard you talk about me behind my back. And there, I've said it. For a moment, I think I see Alexis' cool, confident demeanor crack. No way! Who said I have? She waves her hands madly. It doesn't matter. Whoever told you that is lying to your face. She reaches out and clasps my hands. I admire you, Caitlin. If anything, I want to be just like you. I look in her face, so bright and hopeful. Maybe this nagging feeling I've been having is wrong. Alexis might not have meant to say those things we overheard. She could have uttered them in a moment of anger. I've certainly done that. You want to be like me? I can't help asking. It's kind of flattering. Absolutely. Alexis squeezes my hands tight. You have a career that I aspire to have. That's why I want to stay on FA as long as possible. To learn from you. Really? And I would never, never, ever say a bad word about you, ever, Alexis adds with a big smile. Not meaning what she said is one thing. Saying she never said it is a bold-faced lie. Why couldn't she just admit she talked about me? I open my mouth before I can stop myself.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen.
But you did say those things. Alexis, I tried gently. Maybe you didn't mean them, but I heard you with my own ears. Her right eye flinches slightly. Talking to Renee, Sky did too, and then Liz heard you that day at Argyle Spa. Alexis' face turns to stone. You heard me wrong. Your friend too. And that leech, Sky. She'll say anything to get ahead. She rolls her eyes. I thought you wanted us to get along. Why are you pushing this? Why don't you believe me? She sounds agitated now, and it sends up red flags. Alexis, I try again, needing to be certain. It's okay. Everyone gets bent out of shape sometimes, but I need to know the truth. With all those phony tabloid articles about my set behavior and Sky's, I don't know who to trust anymore. Are you saying I planted those articles? Alexis's voice is shrill, and for the first time I notice she looks angry. Lets out a little grunt and runs her hand slowly across her face. When she's finished, she looks at me and I can see her expression has totally changed to one of eerie calm. You know what? Forget it. I'm done pretending, she says. You've caught me. What? I can't.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Can't breathe. What does she mean? I don't like you, Caitlin, Alexis says flatly. She glances around to make sure no one's within earshot other than me. Sky was too smart to fall for my act, but I tried to be nice to you because everyone loves you, and I thought that being friends with you would get me what I want. But I can see that you're not biting. She shakes her head. To tell you the truth, it's relief, you know? Now I don't have to pretend with you. I'm not the type of girl who likes having girlfriends anyway. She smiles weakly. Too much competition and jealousy. I'm too shocked to speak. My mouth is hanging out to the tiled, shiny floor. You're jealous of me, Caitlin, Alexis says quietly. I've seen it from day one. You can admit it. I am not, I lie. You don't like that I'm moving into your precious turf. Alexis points her ruby red manicured finger at my face. Well, tough. It's time for some new names to get some attention at FA, and I'm going to be one of them. What does that have to do with me? I asked stonily. She laughs bitterly. Everything. Don't you think I've seen how much Tom and everyone adores you? And even that troublemaker Sky. At first I thought it was a good idea to get tight with you and your posse, since you have so much influence on Mel and Tom. But I can tell you were suspicious of anyone who wanted to get close to you. So I had to make a move. So I moved on to being sweet to everyone else on the set. So I'd be adored on and off set so that they couldn't let go of me. But all my baking and other good deeds still went unnoticed, and there was no talk of extending my storyline. I finally pleaded my case to Tom. She rolls her eyes. You know what he told me? He didn't have any room for another major team player because they already had you two. Well, that's the answer. Didn't fly with me. Her tone is icy, and I feel chills run down my spine. So the answer became obvious. If there isn't room for the three of us, then maybe I'd get rid of you two, so I could have a fighting chance. I knew Sky was onto me, which is why I had to find out one of her skeletons, revealing her true age to the trick. She smiled smugly. But you, I figured I'd keep you close until we could figure out a better way to take you down. Now I can see you already know what I'm up to, so why hide anymore? You can't stop me. You've got enough problems handling all the new bad press about your step behavior. Her eyes squint menacingly. Want to know the best part? If I continue butting up the writing staff and being nice to everyone, they'll never suspect me of trying to ruin your reputation. I knew it. It wasn't an alien invasion after all. I was right about Alexis. She's totally out to destroy Sky and me. She's nuts. You're not going to get away with this, I see. My voice eerily calm. It's taking all my strength not to reach out and smack her across the face. Tom will never get rid of Sky and me because of some bogus tabloid article. I'm so angry I'm shaking, but the truth is I'm not sure how much the studio or Tom is willing to swallow. Suddenly I feel very afraid. Alexis could get away with this, and here's the reason why. We're moving into the Hollywood Secret. Hollywood Secret number 9. Oh my god, I can't read. How do the tabloids get away with printing such outlandish lies? They're brilliant at manipulating words. According to Liz's dad, my lawyer, in order to sue a tabloid, a magazine, for slander or printing false information and win, a celebrity has to prove that the magazine was being malicious. So someone, say Caitlyn Burke is pregnant, and I'm obviously not, but burning mad they said it, I have to prove to the magazine was deliberately trying to hurt me by printing that remark. That is tough to do. Usually when a magazine comes under fire for a particularly dirty item, all they have to say is that they believe the item was true at the time they printed it, and they have to get out of jail free card. Pretty sneaky, huh? Which, if you're as much into garbage as I am, you'll know about the Tasha K situation, in which Tasha K heavily lied, because she didn't insinuate, she said it, she reported it, that Cardi B had herpes, and that she was giving it to people. And it's like, baby, you can't just say that about people. Well, she did, and then was like, I know it's a lie, what are you going to do about it? She took her to court and then civil suited her for the tune of like $2 million, $1 million against Tasha K herself, and then another $1 million against her gossip blog. Sky comes across and sees all this and is like, you can't pop off on this girl. We cannot do this. So they let Sky get away, and they let Alexis get away, and they run off to be like, okay, we gotta go blow some steam off or something, because we're not gonna pop off and box this girl in the face, no matter what she has done to us. So they spark up a kind of frenemy situation in which they go and burn off some steam in the in the whatchamacallit, on the Rockwall gym, instead of going to the cycling class. The start of a beautiful friendship. 10. Whatever happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas. So we're having a cast dinner that's supposed to have press. Everyone's gotten a text that the dinner has been postponed for an hour. But, you know, everyone still shows up at the regular time because, you know, it's better to be late than never. And it's rather to be early than late. So they're all there, all the teens. Ava, Hallie, Trevor, Sky, Caitlyn. So everyone's there waiting except for Alexis. They're sitting around waiting. They're like, can we go to our table? The maitre d's like, absolutely not. Table's not ready yet. Hallie, one of the girls who's sitting around there, is excitedly waiting for a call. She gets a call back from JJ. JJ Abrams was working with ABC for Lost, if you didn't know, around that time. And they get a call that she's going to be picked up for a show. Hollywood Secret number 10. Can't read through my notes. When a star want a sure sign that the Grim Reaper is coming for one of your favorite characters? Keep an eye on the front page of Variety. If you read that your favorite star has signed on to do a pilot or to do a recurring guest spot on another show, they probably know what we don't. Their character is going to be snuffed out. In Callie's case, her character is going to be taken hostage during a robbery. Tom keeps giving quotes about how this pivotal episode will change the lives of everyone on FA forever, hinting that someone won't make it out alive. A big ratings draw these days. It's safe to say that the probable demise or long stint in her rehabilitation is Hallie, considering her new role on a new network. Sky is pissed about Alexis and is not very good at hiding it, so she's in a bad mood dressed as a prom queen. As everyone's, jiggling around waiting, Sky is finally just like, whatever, I'm gonna go up there. And of course, they see that there are, up on the mezzanine, there's a whole bunch of photographers taking pictures out. Alexis is up there already? Sky screeches, apparently seeing exactly what I hoped I hadn't. She's got the press all to herself, and then she grabs a trembling haughty host by his collar. You knew, didn't you? He lowers his blue eyes and nods. She gave me $100 and her room number, he boasts. And she moved the interview up an hour. Whoops. Well, Sky goes up there and raises hell. It's kind of hard to keep everyone on your side when you keep shitting on the people who are going to be your castmates after, what's-her-face gets kicked off. Sky, I hiss. She's only going to make things worse. Alexis laughs nervously. Don't be silly. Sky's such a liar. I love my FA co-stars. But you guys all know Sky and Caitlyn will say anything to get some good press. To get some of the good press you've been giving me. That's it. Something inside me snaps and I can't keep quiet. You've manipulated the press pretty well, haven't you, Alexis? I ask, getting mad as a flashbulb pops in my face. It's amazing how many unnamed sources there are to talk about how wonderful you are and how rotten we are. I look at the press crew. Well, we can play that game too. Maybe you want to take a minute to get the real story and hear how Alexis threatened me earlier. A few reporters move towards me. Don't fall for it, guys. Alexis blocks their path. Think about it. Why would Caitlyn ever take Sky's side? The only reason those two are getting along at the moment is they're hoping you'll forget all about Caitlyn's car crash and the fact that Sky is old as dirt. That's it. Sky grabs a fistful of Alexis's hair and pulls. Click, click, click. There's a flurry of camera flashes. Alexis screeches, turns around, and shoves Sky, knocking her backwards into Trevor. Sky races at her again. Maddie tries to pull Sky off. Maddie's there. Of Alexis, but he gets knocked down. Trevor runs over to break the whole thing up, and he winds up with a bloody nose. Click, click, click. Suddenly it's pandemonium. Everyone is throwing themselves on top of each other. Maddie, Luke, and Brayden, who also apparently have a thing for Alexis, are trying to pull Alexis out of harm's way, meaning Sky. And Ava and Hallie are still yelling about Alexis tricking them. Trevor is trying to meditate as blood drips down his face, but it's no use. Me? My feet are glued to the floor, my heart is pounding, and I can't move a muscle. All I want to do is get in there and fight, but I know how these things end, and I've done enough damage by yelling in public. Click, click, click. Oh my god, I hear someone behind me say, it's Tom. He's arrived just in time to see Sky dragging Alexis by the hair. Tom falls into the nearest chair, covers his face with his hands. This is not good. I haven't read that line in a while. It's just like, shit. My career. Hopefully, if you're interested in my content, you've also seen Quentin reviews this between 3 to 8 hour long tributes to iCarly and Victorious. And the first couple, the one talking about iCarly, he talks about how Carly Shay's character, some people say that she has no character and that she's bland, and he would say that that is not true, that she's the straight man, in a comedy duel, but she's also just a ball of anxiety. And I feel like that same thing is the same as Caitlyn. Just at any point, anytime she can panic, she does. She has no fight or flight. She only has stay. She just panics all the time. So now we go into Hollywood News Nation, family dysfunction, as the stars, you know, they're just beating each other up. Lainey's like, we are not going to dignify this in a statement. Sky's people are just like, Sky has nothing but most respect for her co-stars on and off screen. She has a new person, Amanda. And Alexis doesn't have a representative yet. So the show has issued a statement on her behalf on everyone younger than 21, and it's just like, everyone's great, everything's great, don't worry about it. Some people are saying that the girls are just jealous. And we hear that they had to shut down the set the week after this because, I mean, Trevor, one of their guys, literally got punched in the nose. So it's probably not a good time. They just keep talking about how someone's gonna get fired. And honestly, again, as a fan of Grey's Anatomy, you're always questioning who's gonna get it next. Who's gonna die in the plane crash? Who's gonna get trauma from a plane crash so bad that they have to leave doctoring? Like, everything and anything is possible. Chapter 11, Dance as if no one's watching. So this is the homecoming date, and as if to amend for how badly things went for them during the spring fling event, it is a lovely school event at Clark Hall. So as though to make up for how badly the things went last time, we now have just the most benign homecoming situation. Caitlyn sneaks on to Clark Hall to go and watch the game. She goes home with Austin and they have cake with his family. And then she goes and gets dressed. She gets dressed and dances with your boy, with Austin. Rodney takes them to the school dance, and Austin calls him her bodyguard, and apparently he doesn't like to be called that. Hollywood secret number 11, if you're a celebrity, you never refer to the person you've hired to protect you as your bodyguard. Rod, and all the guys he knows in the biz, seem to think the word bodyguard sounds like a mindless thug, while the term personal security has a more intelligent ring to it. They've certainly earned the right to be called whatever they want. Rod is responsible for protecting me 24/7, drops everything in his life to fit my schedule, and has to worry about getting sued over altercations, and is stuck following me everywhere, even when I do something unusual. Everywhere, even when I do something as unguyish as get a pedicure. No wonder we pay him almost $200,000 a year. And he got to be in that movie and get an acting credit for that. Oh my god. I'm not saying he's rolling it, but eat the rich. You gotta eat Rodney. They all get in there up to the homecoming, and we get to meet up with Principal P from the first book. She hates Alexis, thinks that Kobe's story is stupid, and just loves Caitlyn up so hard. Everything's covered in organza. Lori is, Lori in their eyes is the main villain of everyone at Clark Hall. Except for Lori. Lori is still the main villain of their story. She's so unnecessary. Beth and Allison, her two friends she made at Clark Hall, are just kind of like, Oh my god, Lori doesn't even deserve to rule. Like, they have their own plot lines going on, while Caitlyn's just like, I'm fighting someone who, you know, is willing to play as dirty as possible to take my job. And they're just like, mean girl in high school, mean. When Austin gets crowned, he has to stand next to Lori, and it's time to dance with Lori. Everyone's just like, oh, whatever. Well, Austin is just like, you know what? I'm gonna make a new tradition. And he pulls her onto the dance floor, and he dances with Caitlyn. And he's just like, girl, I love you. This is all the things I love about you. And she's just like, he said, I love you. And he's trying to say it back. Do I say it now? And then they move on. So she like panicked about this whole, do I tell him I love him back? What's protocol? What do I do? All right, we get a script, and this one I'm just gonna read to you. FA 2007, Playing the Angel, continued. 12th interstitial. Buchanan Manor, foyer, afternoon. Dr. Braden, out of breath. Thank you for agreeing to see me. I didn't think we should discuss this over the phone. Paige, of course. Is something wrong? Did you find something on one of my tests? Dr. Braden hesitates and fumbles with his leather portfolio. It's a lot. Looking for the right papers. Dennis. Please, Dr. Braden, my wife and my family have been through so much. Please don't leave this in suspense. Whatever it is, we can handle it. In the doorway, the viewers can see the outline of Sam and Sarah and Kobe. 13th interstitial, Buchanan Manor, dining room, afternoon. What's going on in there? Sarah spying. It's Dr. Braden. Mom was on the phone with him an hour ago and he rushed over. Something must be wrong. Kobe. Do you think we should be spying on them? Maybe it's something they just don't want us to know. Sarah, how do you think we find out this stuff around here, Kobe? Watch and learn. Whatever it is, concerns all of us. Sam, Mom and Dad have been so stressed over these tests Dr. Braden gave us. I don't even know what they'll do if he finds out that any of us have the same gene that caused Mom's blood mutation. 14th interstitial. Buchanan Manor, foyer, afternoon. Dr. Braden. According to the results of the blood work conducted on your daughters, not all three of the girls are a match for Paige's DNA. Dennis, are you saying Kobe's not Paige's daughter? Dr. Braden. Pause. The opposite, actually. I think Kobe is her daughter. I think Kobe is her daughter. Paige hugs her husband tightly. I knew it. I could feel it. She's come back to me, Dennis. Dr. Braden. There's more. According to these test results, Sam and Sarah might not be. What? That's impossible. Dr. Braden. According to our test, the fraternal twins share the same genetic makeup, but neither of them match your blood type, which leads us to believe that your girls may have been switched at birth with the Mockley twins, who, as you may remember, went missing in a boating accident. Dennis. You must have mixed up the blood work. Why would someone switch our girls? We had tight security on the hospital at the time because Paige was receiving death threats. Dr. Braden. Yes, I remember. But that doesn't mean someone from the inside couldn't have made the switch. Natalie Bennett, one of our night nurses, feuded with Paige for many years before her car went over the Somerville Bridge. Maybe she... Paige. No! This can't be! No! 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 Dr. Braden. I'm sorry, Paige, but according to this, it looks like the girls you've raised as your daughters are not your daughters at all. Sarah lets out an ear-piercing scream. She's inconsolable. Dennis runs to her and holds her. Dennis, don't listen to him. We'll have them retested. We'll figure this out. Sam faints and Kobe rushes to help her. Sam, what's going on? Was I dreaming? Kobe brushes her hair and shushes her. It's a contented smile on her face. Kobe, actually, princess, I think you're finally waking up to a whole new world. Chapter 12, Read and Weep. Caitlyn's in her dressing room with Nadine discussing the night. She's thinking, he loves me. Does he really love me, or was he just saying it? Words are so hard. Boys are so... So she's trying to figure out this whole thing when a script comes in under her desk and it's for filming. She's panicking because she's reading through the script, Hollywood Secret number 12. Did I read number 13? I get it. Okay, Hollywood Secret number 12. As detail-obsessed film director Hutch Adams taught me, a script isn't final until it airs, and even then they can tweak things for years to come on director's cut DVDs. I'm used to tweaking dialogue on set in the middle of shooting. Mel is famous for correcting the writing staff when they give her lines she doesn't think Paige would say. But major script changes, like the 8 pages I received, are pretty rare. So she goes in to start reading it, and she notices she is, as Caitlyn's running around looking for Tom, she's realized as she runs into Sky, and Sky's like, shit, we both got the same script. They realize this is not an accident. They go in search of Tom, who is the, whatchamacallit, he's the, they go looking for Phil, who is the guest director for this episode, and he's just like, well, we'll deal with it later. Tom isn't answering phone calls. I don't have time to wait. We're not doing this. And they're just like, Tom is so deep into rewrites because he had to put everything on hold because of last week that, like, we don't have time. So it's either your jobs or it's either our jobs or our jobs later on. They keep getting called to go shoot. Do you think the script is fake? I asked, hopeful. Wake up, Blondie. Sky rolls her eyes. Even Alexis couldn't pull off a move this big. This thing comes from above her. Before I can imagine which coworker besides Alexis would be scheming against us, the intercom crackles to life. FA cast members in the Buchanan Manor foyer scene report to set immediately for taping. The voice tells us, oh God, the new scene. I freaking start to hyperventilate. Where's the paper bag? I need a bag. Sky's icy hand grabs mine. Relax. It's probably just rehearsal. They won't tape a scene without rehearsal first. We gotta find Tom and bring him to his senses before the cameras roll, I say. I've only taken 10 steps before encountering a setback. Sky shrieks when I look up and notice what was once a blank, slightly dirty wall next to the FA cast portraits now is home to a new picture of Alexis. Her red hair is windblown, and her face barely has a stitch of makeup, allowing me to connect the dots with her faint freckles. Her eyes and smug smiles seem to gloat. Good luck getting rid of me now. I think I'm gonna faint, Sky says. I glare at Alexis's face and feel newfound determination. Come on, I grunt, pulling Sky's arm. Sky's not on the foyer scene set, and Matt's reading her. Alexis on the scene, and Matt's reading her arms. I'm gonna kill her, Sky declares, moving swiftly to the stage. I try to pull her back, but it's no use. She may be bony, but she's got strong upper body muscles. Our problems are big. Our bigger problem is finding Tom, remember? I hiss as Sky pushes aside a PA, a grip, and 2 cameramen to reach her target. Alexis folds her arms across her chest and waits defiantly as Maddie stares at my approaching frame in horror. Caitlyn, Maddie starts to say nervously. I look away and he stops talking. What do you two want? Alexis snaps. Are you here to pull another $500 extension out of my hair? You mean 90? Fake strands like yours could only come from the Jessica Simpson hair collection. Sky retorts, smoothing her black hair, which is back to its full naturalness. God, its natural fullness thanks to a very good weave. Alexis stares at us. Shouldn't you two be cleaning out your dressing room? What's she talking about? Maddie asks. Your sister and Sky have been fired. Alexis says giddily. The network has decided to get rid of the problem. Nice try, I say bitterly, but guess what? No one has canned us. Sorry, but your dreams of FA being a one-woman show will have to stay in fantasy land. Alexis smiles. It may not be a one-woman show yet, but it's a one-daughter show, and that's for sure. What? Maddie whispers. Sky thrusts the new scripts at him. You love causing drama, don't you? I ask Alexis, not expecting an answer. Something about her coy expression makes me furious. It just goes to show how inexperienced you are. Let me give you some advice. I don't care how great ratings are. No one puts up with a manipulative amateur like you for so long. Take that! And you can't forget about Sky and me cleaning out. Words are hard. Take that. And you can forget about Sky and me cleaning out our dressing rooms. We're not filming these new pages till we talk to Tom. I hold my arms across my chest to keep from shaking. Oh, and then you'll be fired. I'm sure the press would love to get an anonymous tip about how you two held up production again. Oh, you're good, Sky comments, but I'm better. Don't mess with the master deception. I've been ruining Kay's set life for years. Yeah! Wait. Well, they go back and forth for a little bit. Phil arrives and is like, y'all better film. Mel is like, they shouldn't have to film. How could you ask us to shoot right now and the girls are so upset? And Phil's just like, we're so behind schedule. I'm gonna call the people. And they're like, absolutely not. How dare you? Phil has his head in his hands. Enough, he says. You two have 10 minutes to hit your mark. After that, I'm calling the network. He walks off to get ready, and Melly and Spencer trail after him, badgering him not to do this. Wow, girls, thanks, Alexis says gleefully. I thought I had to kick you guys off to get some more airtime. Who knew you'd go so willingly? Alexis, Maddie says, looking beyond her. My sister's right about you. You have it out for her. What did she ever do to you? Truthfully? Nothing. But she's standing in the way of me getting what I want, and I can't let that happen. Alexis admits with a sick smile. She hogged the spotlight for years, and now it's my turn. Don't look so wounded, Marty, Alexis adds. It makes you look pathetic. I'll tell you what's pathetic, Sky declares. Filming this crap. You want a solo show, Alexis? Shoot this one alone. Caitlyn and I are out of here. Sky grabs my arm, and I hesitate for a moment. Looking from Phil yelling into his cell phone to Maddie to the group of grips and workers who've slowly gathered to watch the latest altercation. I can't believe it, but for the first time, I'm about to walk off set in the middle of a workday. Okay, let's go, Sky says through clenched teeth. I see her mascara start to run again. Caitlyn, don't do this, Maddie begs. I'm sorry, Maddie. But what's right is right, I say over my shoulder, and with that, Sky and I exit laugh. Unionize! Unionize! The power of the collective. These might be rich actor people, but SAG Awards, and don't be a scab, Alexis. So now it's like, what do you do? Chapter 13, Crossroads. Rodney rolls up and is like, everyone's calling me and panicking. What are you doing? She's like, we can't stay here because they'll try and convince us to stay. You know, where do we go? Sky's like, I know exactly where we need to go. Just trust me. So they go to this bar, and Caitlyn's like, oh shit, she's about to tank me, like, in my reputation. As they get on into this bar, so they're moving on to this bar. Hollywood secret number 13. Ever wonder how celebs know about the hottest hangouts or have invites to the coolest restaurants opening? They could have an amazing publicist like mine who tells me about all the best bashes, or they could have well-connected celeb friends. But chances are some of those stars turn up because they're paid. Sometimes when a club wants their opening splashed across all the papers, they pay a big star to host the event or make an appearance. When I say pay, I mean Joe to appear, plus all expenses paid trip to get there if the club is out of town. Stars can be paid for other outings too, like singing at a girl's bat mitzvah. Stars don't do things out of the kindness of their hearts. They'll do it to fatten their already bulging wallets. Kill the bourgeoisie! So, have you ever seen the movie Crossroads with Britney Spears and Zoe Saldana? If you haven't heard about Crossroads by Zoe Saldana, if you haven't, cut in. It's about so many things, but essentially Britney Spears, Zoe Saldana's, and pregnant white friend, they were all the best of friends in like middle school, and then as time went on, they drifted apart. Well, now the pregnant one needs to give her kid up for adoption. Britney Spears wants to find her mom because she ran away from her and her dad, and Zoe Saldana's is there. Don't know. Well, the big crux of the movie, because it's a star vehicle for Britney Spears, is the fact that Britney goes to karaoke in this restaurant, this bar. She just goes to this She sings karaoke, and the Britney Spears character is like, oh my god, I can't sing. And then Britney Spears, of course, sings. They all have a good rock and roaring time, of course, because it's not a very good movie critically. The joke critics make is that Britney Spears herself can't sing. Untrue. Don't speak about my queen that way. Well, I think Crossroads came out in 2002. So this whole section is very Crossroads. They go to this bar and they do karaoke. Apparently, when Sky is feeling down, she likes to sing. Sky will sing at all times, all the time, and is not too bad at it. Well, since we've called it temporary truth, I'm going to let you in on a Sky Mackenzie secret. Her dark eyes light up. When I'm upset, I sing. I thought if we could get our mind off what happened till we hear from Tom, maybe you'd chill out enough for us to come up with a game plan. From what I can tell, Kay, you're more tightly wound than a thread in my old pashminas. I know to react. That's one of your biggest problems, Kay. In all the years I've known you, you've always worried about something, and I sure as hell haven't caused all of your problems. You've got to chill out and just let life happen sometimes, Sky shrugs. You can't control everything. Do you think I love the paparazzi bait all the time? Or seeing my latest boy failure end up trampled through the mags? My mom can be just as demanding as yours, maybe more. But you don't see me sobbing about it at Crafty. You don't know anything about me, I spit. Because she's partially right. Nor do you care. Don't pretend to start now. Calm down. Sky says with another ira. I'm just suggesting you take up some sort of hobby that's yours alone. It made it easier for me to handle some of Hollywood's less flattering moments. Mark that for later. A hobby that is all just your own. So they get down. They get down to some karaoke with I Will Survive. Caitlyn actually has pretty bad singing stage fright. She can't actually sing in front of other people. Sky, at the end of the song, Sky even compliments her singing voice. And, you know, I don't know where these books are heading. I haven't read them yet. But this is the final, and it's looking pretty Broadway. So I'm thinking our girl is going to get more confident in her singing. They talk about, you know, why Sky hasn't leveraged this into being part of her brand. Like, she wasn't listening to her just literally say that she needs to get a hobby that isn't related to the business. But whatever, Sky is like, well, I don't want to end up like Lindsay, an actress who sings. I want to, you know, maybe be a singer or maybe be an actor. I don't know. Lindsay Lohan also having her first single be rumors being about attacking the paparazzi. I feel like this is just the time for Jen to just get her shit out about some of these entertainment types. But I don't know. I don't know Jen like that. I love this book. I'm having a great time. People talking. So to cheer up Sky, she makes Caitlyn sing by herself. And she chooses Kelly Clarkson's Breakaway from the great and critically acclaimed soundtrack of The Princess Diaries 2. I don't think I said it in my first videos about Jen Calnita, author of Secrets of My Hollywood Life. But on her website, it says that some of her greatest inspirations is Meg Cabot, I believe Meg Cabot, author of the Princess Diaries series, which is, again, about a 14, 15-ish year old girl, you know, who gets swept up into the life of a superstar and, you know, being a superstar, i.e., into the life of someone into the spotlight as Mia Thermopolis gets pulled into the life of being a princess. And how this changes her throughout the life. There are like a crap ton. Hey Google, how many Princess Diary books are there? Yeah, Meg Cabot, 7 years prior. And how many books are there? It's Ancillary young adult novels written by Meg Cabot. Is also the first volume published in 2000. The series revolved around Amelia Mia Thermopolis, a teenager in New York who discovers that she's the princess of a small European principality called Genovia. The series follows Mia's life throughout high school in the 2000s and juggling her regular teenage life with being a royal princess. The books are noted for containing many popular references from the 2000s that influenced the plot. She's deep in there. How many books are there? There are 11 books. Back when you could have just a mega monster series like that. My phone is at 12%. Again, there's so much pop culture, but it's like one of her like noted like inspirations is Princess Diaries. So I just love the fact that a song that, not in my lip gloss, bro, that is in the movie is also in this book. Like, bestie. It's great. I love both of those media properties, so I'm not even mad. So as she's singing, swaying to the music, feeling the beat, finally feeling confident in herself, when she opens her eyes, Lainey and Nadine and her mother and Amanda, Sky's handler, are all there, and they're just like, the scripts were fake. Someone purposely tried to get you guys to film a bogus scene and waste even more of the network's money, and also play some mind games, because, you know, it's gonna fuck you up. Amanda feels that they made things worse for themselves by disappearing. Tom is so upset that he's ready to cut his losses and fire the problem people. Amanda keeps insinuating that it's their fault for, like, that they've essentially shat themselves, but, like, they tried to demand a wait. They tried to do all the things that you're insinuating that they should have done to make this thing happen, make this thing not happen. And yet, like, it's still, you know, the emotional torture it takes to go through that. So everyone's mad. But what about the scripts? If it's bogus, one of the writers had to be behind this. All the writers swear that they had nothing to do with this, but, you know, everyone lies. Everyone's going to be questioned, including those two. And now they have to kiss ass and apologize to people. Even though, personally, I do not think it is their fault, and that I think they made the best decision they could have made, especially as teens. Especially since they kept being like, no, we're not going to film this scene, and everyone just kept being like, yeah, you are. Like, so no. TV tone, a messy affair with, you know, who's firing the family. And they're like, who's gonna get axed and who's in charge of these, you know, these scam lines. Chapter 14, Do or Die. So Caitlyn arrives to a party at Liz's house, a post-PSAT party, celebrating the fact that the SATs are done. Hollywood secret number 11, she shows up wearing a special dress, and so we talk about her stylist. Hollywood secret number 14. Everyone knows that the person usually responsible for a star's great taste in fashion isn't the celebrity, it's her stylist. We're quick to accept their wisdom and the designers who lend us their free threads when we're on the red carpet. But when we're stepping out on the town or braving a live interview, that's when we need our fashion gurus the most. A stylist can single-handedly transform a B-lister with a blip to a bona fide star overnight. Top stylists like Tina knows the skinny on fashion trends, present and future, attend all the runway shows, and knows how to make a star feel comfortable in her own skin. Tina is a whiz at playing off my personality and chooses a lot of whimsical, romantic, or tailored pieces for me. She knows how to flaunt my assets, my tiny waist, and hide my flaws, my thick ankles and large hooves. My thick ankles and large hooves look tiny in a high heel. God, words are hard. But our biggest weapon in deciding what I wear is in Polaroids. Tina slaps pictures of every ensemble I try. so that we can see how the threads look on film. If it's a great shot, then I know that the nautical dress is ready for its close-up. Claire. So, as they're at this party, they're all talking about the SATs. Liz and Austin took the SAT day, and to celebrate, Liz decided to throw a "thank God the SATs are over" bash. I'm glad for the excuse to party, even if I won't be taking my SATs till at least the spring. With everything that's happened, I've had to put any thoughts of taking the test on the back burner, and that's probably for the best. If I tried to take the exam now, I'd probably choke like Meredith did on her intern exams on Grey's Anatomy. I'm not sure the proctor would have as much sympathy for me as the chief did for Mayor either. Jan, please, Queen, leave enough pop culture references for the rest of us. Now this is the first time she's seeing Austin since the I love you prom date, and she's like freaking out. Because what is she going to say? She's saved by Allison and Beth coming over to talk about this whole situation with the scripts and everything. Liz's boyfriend, Josh, is dumb and is like, are you going to get fired? And everyone's like, no, she's not going to get fired. But like, that's not true. They're talking about the SAT and she's just like zoned out until the TV in the living room is talking about a celebrity interview. Hi, I'm Brian Bennett. You're watching Celebrity Insider. First up, the question on everybody's lips this weekend. Who's being asked from America's beloved nighttime soap, Family Affair? Ever since last week's fiery walkout, bogus scripts caused more drama on set of the Family Affair. Celebrity Insider and fans have been wondering what would happen next. The show's executive producer and co-creator say otherwise, but sources close to the show say heads are going to roll. Nobody in our cast is going anywhere. That's Tom talking. Sources tell Insider that whoever created the fake script will obviously be in the unemployment line alongside Peter Henning, who plays Dr. Braden. But rumor has it that someone else will be getting the axe as well, since it's the teens who have played the set with delays and the Vegas PR nightmare. Our sources hear that the network wants one of them to go to the show, that its kind of behavior won't be tolerated. They're just trying to decide who. Their new shining star, Alexis Holden, who is rumored to be difficult to work with, or their longtime sibling act, Caitlyn Burke and Sky McKenzie. But don't listen to me, hear them speak for themselves. Brian, do you really think if I was being fired, I'd sit on your couch and deny it? It's Sky. That's Sky talking. She's always had a thing for Brian, even though she pretends she doesn't. I want to hear if her charms work. Even if you're not going anywhere, Sky, you can't deny your feelings about your co-stars. It's no secret that you and Caitlyn have never gotten along. Sky taped an interview with him today, just like I did. Who says? Caitlyn and I may not spend every waking minute together, but I certainly respect her as an actress. I would work a slide song. Yep. I would work alongside her any day. I guess that deep frost between Sky McKenzie and Caitlyn Burke is finally thawing, because Caitlyn, too, had nothing but kind words to say to her co-star. Caitlyn is also being interviewed by this guy. The rumor mill can't stop talking about the alleged script that basically wrote Sam and Sarah off the show. Is it true? And what about the fights in Vegas? Did you really throw a punch at Alexis Holden? Tell us the truth. Are you okay? I'm fine, Brian. Thanks for asking. As far as I know, Sky and I aren't leaving the show. But if you've heard differently, Brian, please reveal your sources. Inquiring minds want to know. So there you have it, folks. Right from my pal Sky and Caitlyn themselves. The only FA member not talking these days is Alexis Holden. Ever since the showdown in Vegas, FA's new star has shut down on the media, only increasing the speculation about her supposedly difficult set behavior. All flack for the stars would say, Alexis Holden has no comment at this time. They've been saying that for weeks now. Could it be that Hollywood's newest Golden Girl has finally tarnished her halo? Stay tuned. After the break, Angelina Jolie tells us why she thinks she's ready to adopt again. So, trying to go out and gets some breath, she goes outside and talks to Austin. Hold up. Austin essentially apologizes for, you know, being so gruff about the birthday thing, and that, you know, he just really doesn't like spending that like time and money on that. And he's got like the coolest girlfriend, so it doesn't matter how much money he spends. She's looking for a reason to not be talking about work, so they lean into it, and that, you know, they don't have to talk about love, they can just talk about whatever. And so she explains how everything's been going these last couple of weeks. Oh, what happened after she returns back onto set, after this whole walk-off situation happens. Spencer and Melly were really happy to see her. Alexis avoided them. And Tom hasn't actually been able to talk to anyone because he's been busy dealing with the script bandit. She's just feeling like not great, and she finally has a person she can bounce shit off of in Austin. What's the real reason? Austin asks. The rocking motion of the swing is soothing. I lay my head on his shoulder. You promise not to tell anybody? I whisper hoarsely. I swear. He crosses his heart. I'm having a hard time following everything that's happening. It's so weird seeing you and Sky do interviews together and being on the same team. I know, I admit. But Alexis is awful, Austin. The whole thing is my fault, I practically cry. If I hadn't been so caught up with being jealous of Alexis, the new girl, then I would have seen what she was from day one. I would have been prepared to fight back like I did with Sky in the past. We wouldn't have had the meltdown in Vegas, and Sky and I wouldn't have been so angry that we walked off set last week. I'm more professional than that. Don't be insane. Jesus Christ, ableism, Austin says. You couldn't have stopped what happened. I've jeopardized my career again, I sob. I feel like it was some cosmic force that sent all this trouble to punish me for being jealous of not just Alexis, but everyone around me. Austin gives me a questioning look, and I can tell he's confused. I'm jealous of you guys. I just feel so small even saying it. Yes, I love hitting the red carpet and signing autographs and being a celebrity, but when Alexis started getting so much attention on the show, I freaked. I felt like I was being pushed aside. Then when you guys started talking about colleges and moving across the country to go to school, I guess the little green monster inside me started to rear its ugly head about that too. All I could think about was being left behind. By Hollywood, by you, by Liz. What if you guys go off to college and then we have nothing in common anymore? What if I go to college and then my career dries up because Alexis becomes a star who takes my place? I didn't know you had these feelings squeezing out of you. Austin looks aghast. I don't want you to feel that way. You didn't do anything wrong, I backpedal. It's me. I feel like I'm losing everything I care about. You're not losing everything. He grabs me by the shoulders and looks deeply into my eyes. I resist the urge to squirm away. Even if I go 3,000 miles away to go to college, you're not going to lose me, Burke. I'll be home on breaks, and by the time you're probably doing so well, you have a private jet at your disposal. You can come visit me anytime you want. We both laugh. You're forgetting something very important. And he picks up the cell phone. We're going to be fine, Austin assures me. It's you need to worry about. Don't freak out about what everyone else around you is doing. Pick one project to focus on. If you want to learn how to drive, you will. And if you want to ace the SATs and go to college, you'll do that. You just can't do it all at once. He smiles. Even Caitlyn, Burke can't do that. But if you want my opinion, the first thing to do is to deal with Alexis. Show her how the real FA star acts. He's such a good boyfriend. He helps her see the bigger picture, and we move on. Chapter 15, Truth and Consequences. It's early in the morning, and everything is right with the world. Sky and Caitlyn have an easygoing they have an easygoing truce going as they sit around, wait. Melly comes in and talks about her kid and how she really hasn't gotten to see the child grow up that much. Sees the child every day on a lunch break. It's not the same as seeing your baby grow up. It's so meatloafy. I hate it. Tom comes by and says, hey, you've got a meeting with me at 9:30. We need to talk about some stuff. So they're like, cool, we'll totally be there. But then as they're walking, they come by. The girls go off to craft services to go wait while they're getting ready for their thing. They're talking about what they're going to do on set today. Caitlyn even invites her to be a part of their little on-set jokes. Hollywood secret number 15. When stars are tied up filming one scene for hours, we can get creative with our ways to pass the time. One thing we like to do is play what I call pass the carrot. During taping, we try to find new ways to hide objects in our clothing without Tom noticing. Or we try and pass an item, like a cookie or a pen or a carrot, get it? Without disrupting anyone. The game helps when we're shooting our umpteenth camera angle of a hectic family dinner scene. It's the first time that Sky's been invited to play because it's the first time Caitlyn's ever actually wanted to play with her. Also, these people are disruptive to continuity. Every cinema sin can be traced back to Caitlyn and Sky. So, as they're leaving, they come across Max Walsh, the hot writer. And they're just like, oh, hello, Max. And Sky's flirting with him. He jumps and he's sweaty. His hair, which was specked up the last time, all flat down to his feet. He looks miserable. What's going on with Max? So they're kind of flirting with Max. He's just so cute and approachable and nice. And then Alexis walks up and is like, oh my god, Maxie Poo. They're like, what? It's Alexis. Alexis and him were chit-chatting. And Sky and Caitlyn go around the corner and they peek back around and they're making out. Absolutely feral behavior. It's one that doesn't involve you, I tell her. I grab Sky's arm and lead her to the staircase before Alexa can say anything. I start ascending it quickly, and Sky pulls me back. What are you doing? I whisper. I just thought of something. She takes off her shoes and halfway down the hall, Alexis and Max are clearly in the middle of a heated argument. Alexis keeps trying to grab his hand, and Max keeps pushing her away. Alexis keeps touching him. She grabs his hand again, caressing his shoulder, tries to hug him, and then she kisses him on the mouth, and he kisses her back. Ugh. It doesn't last long, though. Max pushes her away and storms off. Alexis quickly chases after him. Ugh, what does Max see in her? I mean, yeah, she's kind of beautiful, I guess, and has a great body, but she's catty and backstabby. Max seems like such a weird choice for Alexis. She seems like the type to be into jockifying for lip time with Zac Efron or Ryan Gosling. What would she see in Max, who's just a TV writer? A TV writer. Max is a TV writer. Oh my god, Max must have done something to do with that script, I blurt out. I think I might faint or throw up. I'm not sure which would be more inconvenient. You think? Sky mocks me and grabs her shoes and throws me in my boots. Quick, let's follow him. 16. You can run, but you can't hide. They go looking. It's 9:10. The meeting is at 9:30. They are running after him. Caitlyn has actually been they go running after Alexis, and she runs into Matt. Maddie and her have actually been in a fight since her leaving the set because he felt that was an endangerment to his career. Which, again, because everyone in this family thinks about what Caitlyn can do for them and not what they can do for Caitlyn. Alexis, they come across them making out in between bouts of arguing about the script. I can't believe you, I reprimand, but Sky hushes me. She points at Alexis's door. I can hear mumbling and it sounds heated. Yep, that's definitely Alexis and Max in there. I can read lips. Always did the trick for spying on you. Sky says as the muffled voices grow louder. Let me try to find out what they're saying. She peeks through the door in the small window above my head. Be careful, I remind her. You should see this. Sky is standing on her tippy toes. Alexis is sobbing about how sorry she is. You should see her face, Kay. Mascara running everywhere. She looks awful. Sky laughs wickedly. Are they saying anything important? I need Sky to focus. We don't have much time. It's 9:22. Sky squints hard. It's hard for me to understand with all her whining. Wait. What did you just say? I think she said script. Sky looks at me with her eyes wide as Four Seasons teacups. Kay, she's crying about a script. I feel nauseous. Are you sure? Hey girls, someone interrupts. Sky and I whip around and Trevor is walking towards us. He has a cute new buzz cut and he's wearing loose-fitting jeans with a thermal tee over it, a long-sleeved white one. How did I miss him sneaking up on us? Everything okay? Trevor asked. What are you guys doing here? Everyone's on set. We're getting ready for Tom. He was in some sort of important meeting. Sky and I can't move. What if Alexis and Max hear him? What if Sky misses them talking about important stuff? I'm sweating. I can't think of a single thing to do that could explain what we're doing. If we don't get him out of here real quick, we're ruined. Trevor small fades. Do you guys hear someone crying? Nope. It sounds like it's coming from Alexis's room. Hey, why is Alexis kissing? No! I begin to hyperventilate. I look at Sky. I feel like the moment is happening in slow-mo. Sky throws herself at Trevor, knocking him backwards across the hall and passionately kissing him on the lips. He looks as surprised as I do. But then he starts enjoying it. I don't know what to do. Listen, I've been meaning to talk to you, Sky murmurs into Trevor's ear. I'm finishing something up with Kay, but can you meet with me in my dressing room at 1 for lunch? Trevor says something incoherent. He must still be in shock. Great. She turns him around and sends him on his way. See you then! I look at her sternly and try raising my right eyebrow like Mom does. What? He looked hot. Forgot what a good kisser Trevor is. And those arms. What about Cody? I'm keeping my options open. She winks and then takes her place back at the small window again. It's so quiet in the hallway you can hear the central air unit whizzing. Okay. Alexis is still groveling. She's definitely talking about the script. Sky reports. She's crying, blah, 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 blah. Wait, she's apologizing now. Say, no one has to know. Max is yelling back that he's going to get fired because of her. I don't understand what he's saying. This is all part of some big use. That doesn't make sense. A big muse. A ruse? What's a ruse? Just keep reading lips. I tell her. Sky is seriously benefiting from some SAT work herself. Alexis was his muse, and she took advantage of that. Sky repeats. She made him do it. Do what? Lay it on the table, Max. Come on! Sky gasps. What? I hiss. We got him, Kay. Sky says, sounding hoarse. What do they say? I can feel my heart beating out of my chest in anticipation. Tell me. Alexis just said, but you wrote the script. You can't pin this on me. Sky relays. And now Alexis is crying again. A wave of nausea comes over me as I realize our suspicions about Alexis were dead on the whole time. Alexis isn't just a major heap of a how. Jesus Christ. How is the battery dying? Oh my God. Okay. Oh. Alexis isn't a major heap of cow dung. She's a scheming, vindictive piece of cow dung. Okay. Person can't be cow dung, so that doesn't really make sense, but I'm angry. It's career suicide, but Max, whatever we have done to Max. Max is saying something. I wanted to write you the FA ending you would have wanted. I told you this was 4 hours only. You swore you wouldn't show anyone. And this is how you repay me. Distributing copies to the whole cast and crew. Trying to get the show filmed behind Tom's back. What were you thinking? You've successfully destroyed any chance of either of us keeping our careers. So, says line it up. Real nice and clear. Caitlyn, Alexis essentially slept with as many people as she possibly could to attempt to get herself indebted into the show so deeply that they would only work with her. That she tried being nice to people and that didn't work. She tried sleeping her way with some of the writers and people in Hollywood, and that's only half working. And her Hail Mary attempt was to just distribute her own fan fiction written by her boy toy fuck friend Max, the beloved TV writer. And just hope that they could get it filmed and everything and no one would question anything. So the girls now have this information and they're just like, well, shit, it's 9:55. We have to get back to Tom, the Tom interview. She goes to Tom and that's when they find out with the proof that Max, did what he did. Well, Tom already knew. Maddie came to them and sold out Alexis because he had heard it. after this whole situation had happened. He'd come that morning to talk to them. So they come in, and Mel and Tom are sitting down, and they've essentially decided that they are ending the show. That they didn't expect to be doing this for 20 years, like Shonda Rhimes and blessed be Ellen Pompeo on Grey's. They come in and they're like, no, you're not fired, but the show is ending. But with all the things that have just transpired, I didn't want anything else to happen without you two knowing that it was going to take place. So Caitlyn, who's still in spiral about her future, is kind of panicked about it, but you know, you gotta look into the whatchamacallit, into the bright side of all things. Hollywood secret number 16. I guess I can take heart in the fact that a beloved TV show never really ends. Networks love to milk Networks love to milk every last drop out of hot commodities. We have retrospective programs to plan, last goodbye videos to tape, favorite cast episodes to run. There will be a last Emmy nod, possible spin-offs with popular characters, even though those shows usually bomb, and rumors about reunion specials. I won't be saying goodbye to these people for a long time. It's, you know, she's got a lot to think about. What do you do when the thing that you've been doing since you were 4, you're no longer doing? We have the script of Sam putting Kobe on a bus out of town as they revert to the previous ending that just involved her, you know, doing whatever. They don't really specify. They just know that Kobe did some bad shit and lied. And Sam and Sarah are just like, no, goodbye, leave. Chapter 17. The Last Supper. So, because Caitlyn can't tell her family about the show ending yet, they're out to dinner, or out to lunch at a swanky place celebrating Maddie doing the right thing. And that's when they all get the news through some, you know, buzz alert that the show is going to be ending after this season. Everyone is sad. And then Lainey and Mom start throwing around everything that she could be doing with the show. From spin-offs to comedies, to movies, to indie flicks, to action, to horror. No one is taking into account what Caitlyn wants to do. Caitlyn's only getting a word in edgewise. You know, maybe I want to go to college. Her father says, actresses don't go to college. They lose all their zeal afterwards. I have a list of actresses that have gone to college. Natalie Portman, Rachel McAdams, Emma Watson, Jodie Foster, Gabrielle Union. They're talking, and Caitlyn boils to the surface about all the things that her parents, you know, are trying to push on her. They also talk about spin-off shows. A lot of talk about spin-off shows in this book. Where you have Buffy to Angel, you have Grey's Anatomy to Private Practice starring Addison Montgomery, which started the year this book came out. Perfect Strangers to Family Matters, Cheers to Frasier. The Good Wife to The Good Fight. You have the OC to The Hills to Laguna Beach, or whatever order that actually happens in, and then you've got the entirety of Law and Order. So it's like, spin-off is not a bad idea, but it's not as prestigious as moving into movies. They just don't know what they're going to do, and they've got all these projects that they want to put on her. Lainey wants her to cut a CD so that they can maybe get her into some musicals, or maybe sing a little bit. They're like, the last time we listened to your ideas, you went to Clark, and that was a terrible idea. Let me say this again. Joey, Nadine says. Stop, I yell. Everyone freezes, including our waiter. Mom drops her fork, which makes a loud clink as it hits her steak salad, which looks pretty yummy, by the way. Everyone stares at me in stunned silence. Caitlyn, Mom stutters. What's wrong with you? You can't yell and cut. For God's sake. Sorry, Mom. But I'm not having another conversation about my career unless I'm a part of it, I say firmly. This is my career we're talking about, and no one has asked me what I want to do. What do you want to do? Mom says in what I consider a mocking tone. I have no respect for Meg Burke, so I'm going to use an actual mocking tone. Well, I'm not sure yet, I admit. Maddie groans. But I want a little time to figure it out without you guys coming up with a game plan first. How much time do you need? Would a week from Monday be enough time? Lainey asks, punching what I assume is her calendar up on her BlackBerry. Mom and Dad do the same, and I see Maddie whip out a sidekick. Nadine shakes her head. I pull out my sidekick so I can look just as efficient. No, I don't think that will be enough time, I say firmly. Lainey looks at me in surprise. I agree with you guys that the next decision I make is a big one, but I've been on Family Affair for so long, I don't even know what I'd like to do next. I need a few weeks to figure that out on my own. I have a problem with being too impulsive. I think about my stint at Clark High, my driving class debacle. I don't want to rush into anything this time. I want some time to really think about my options. But Katie Cat, you spend every summer on hiatus shooting something, whether it's a TV movie or a film. How could you not know what you like? Mom asked. Usually you guys pick my summer movie. By committee, I remind her. I know I push for the Addams flick, but most of the time you show me the rules you think I would like. I want to change. Oh my god, I want a chance to make my own decisions for a change. I look at Mom. You can have Seth send me all the scripts you want. And I look at Dad. And you can suggest TV shows. I look at Matt. And ones that might be right for both of us. I glance at Lainey. And ones that have the most potential to give my career a grown-up makeover. But in the end, I want to make the decision. And it has to be one I'm excited about. And I look at Nadine, who's smiling. I want to weigh all my options. Not just film or TV. I want to explore the same things other teens do. I pause. Like going to college. Not the speech about going to college again, Caitlyn. Mom moans. She begins to nervously pull on her hair extensions. I thought you were over the school thing. Look what happened when you went to Clark. There are like name 5 girls who have actually gotten their degree, and I named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did. And I'm not saying I'm going, I interrupt. I just say I need time to think. Anyway, this is my decision, and I'm turning 17 in a few weeks. That's right, Matt is excited. Can I play? Whatever. I'm not having a party. I'm not having any big parties because I hate them. I hate a crowd of people I don't know. I always like your parties. Dad looks disappointed. Fuck her parents. I truly hate her parents. That's nonsense, Mom scolds. You always listen to us. Oh my god, hold up. They were great for networking. My point is, I'll be 17 soon, and 18 in a year, and then you won't be able to tell me what to do anymore. Mom and Lainey gasp. That's nonsense. That's nonsense, Mom scoffs. You always listen to us. I just mean that when I'm 18, I'll be an adult and I won't have to make all my choices by committee. I add, softening a bit after Mom practically chokes on a hunk of steak. It's still my life and my career, and I think the end of Family Affair is a great time for me to look. Oh my god. It's a great time for me to think about shaking things up. I like the idea of doing some festival flicks or doing a TV show with a character that's completely opposite of Sam. But I also want to look into taking classes about art and history. I don't want to look back 10 years from now and realize I missed out on something I really wanted to do. And that's when they're like, CD? Maybe. So what they end up deciding is that she will take off the rest of December to make decisions about her life, and she'll get back to them back in December. Who knows, she might even try singing. I know that somehow she has to get to Broadway because book 5 is Broadway, and this one is there's no place like home, which, could take her back to LA. I don't know, baby. I don't know. As she's taking the victory lap from kind of sticking it to her parents, she goes into the bathroom and her and Nadine find Alexis in the bathroom. Alexis is being as bitchy as ever, bragging about how she's got this role in this movie with reshoots. I'm going to finish this, I say. Am I the idiot, I ask? Am I not the one who hit one of our writers? And distributed a mock script? You screwed up. You cost yourself a job and probably a career. I had nothing to do with it. My career is hotter than ever, Alexis counters. I'm actually here taking a meeting with Fox about a film, Paris is Burning. What does this have to do with Paris is Burning? She's lying, Nadine tells me. Paris is Burning was shot last winter. Alexis snickers. They hated Sierra Covington's performance and are reshooting most of the movie, including all of Sierra's scenes. Fox thinks I have what it takes to make this film a shoo-in for the Oscars. Her eyes are blazing. You'll see, Caitlyn. There are people in this town who love a bit of scandal, and I'm gonna ride that wave to the sunset while you and Sky watch your careers die. May. Watch this Sky this May. Sky, watch your careers die this May. You actually did me a favor. You got me off that show before it completely fell apart. I hope you enjoy your fall. Alexis pushes past Nadine and grabs my forearm. I tell Nadine Hollywood secret number 17. Extensive reshoots can mean the kiss of death on a movie. Batman v Superman. Or no, Justice League. Justice League is the one with the CGI mustache. Extensive reshoots can mean the kiss of death on a movie. While the studio responsible for the flick will probably say the film just needed a little adjustment, many reshoots stem from bad test screenings. If an audience hates the ending, then something better be done quick or it's straight to DVD for the release. To be fair, sometimes a studio requests reshoots or a director decides he needs additional footage to ensure that his masterpiece in no way resembles another director's masterpiece. But changing the lead in a movie after the movie's already been shot? Yikes. Alexis is going to be back in Vancouver begging the Canadian Broadcasting Network for a bad movie of the week in no time. Getting a DVD of that to watch with a tub of gooey popcorn and raisinets will be my best revenge. So, last magazine interstitial, Within the Know. The affair is over. Everyone knows that the show is ending. Everyone is getting ready to say goodbye to the show. Chapter 18, Happy Birthday to Me. When I open the door... Oh, hold up. Jesus Christ, Megan. I've done so much reading. Chapter 18, Happy Birthday to Me. So... it's a pretty cute ending. Austin takes Caitlyn off on a surprise birthday party. He covers her eyes and leads her off. They talk about the ending of the show and getting in on whatever she needs to do to get into college. And that's when they end up at her favorite pizza spot from the first book, A Slice of Sicily, surrounded by all of her friends. And Austin really takes the lead and is just like, I'm gonna make sure this is a party perfect for Caitlyn. He doesn't invite any industry people. He doesn't do it at a big fancy place. It's all about what Caitlyn would have wanted. She's having this party with people she already knows. All her friends, family, and loved ones. Plus Sky. Sky also shows up for a little bit to offer her a gift. Caitlyn tells him that she loves him. And they don't get to discuss it because of whatever reason. The two are just so cute together. They dance onto the floor. There's a whole lot of love in this moment for Caitlyn. Hollywood secret number 19. Never ever take anything for granted in this town. Just when you think you have your career figured out, your entourage well in place, and handle on the fame game, that's when it all gets ripped out from underneath you. Guess that's what my life is. In for a major shakeup. Stay tuned. So, it's over. What a moment. What a wild moment for me. I really like this book. It's the first book that didn't have, it had a happy ending, obviously, but it didn't have an ending where it's and then Alexis gets, shipped off to blah, blah, and Family Affair gets to keep running for 17 more seasons. There was technically loss in this book. Her show is done. And part of that is the villain's fault. We don't just get to wrap up. This is the first book that's felt like a middle book. We're really building to something, and something is coming in the form of Paparazzi Princess. This book is virgin. She doesn't even have a spine on her. I bought her and then essentially put her away. I'm so excited to read this cheetah print monstrosity. Oh my god. Very indie sleeves. Ugh. Terrible. Ugly. I love a new book. That was the best part about reading this, is reading a book that I've owned for so long. But you know, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna read it. I will see you, you know, whenever I see you. But yeah, you can check out me talking about The Bachelor. The Bachelor, Bachelorette. Rachel and Gabby season is happening sometimes. Who knows when this will come to you. The end of Clayton season, I have Katie's season, I have Michelle's season, I have Bachelor in Paradise 7 for you. I have my entire series about The Clique. Who knows what book you'll be on, but I know at this point I have the first 3 books read and edited perfectly for you. So, you know, whatever you want to check out from me. You can also check out how I did my makeup on my beauty channel, Megan Blush. It's, you know, it's on the end card. Yeah, this was a good time. Bye guys. Complicated. I look so good. I've gotten so good at makeup. Holy shit, I look great. Oh my god. No one's gonna go up for you like you go up for you, baby. Ring light is so bright. Is it time yet? It's time. Oh, my lights just went out. It's my birthday. Yay.